After a brilliant start to the season, it's gone wrong for Tottenham, hasn't it, over the last 3 matches? 3 defeats in a row for Ange Postecoglou. Craig, it's the first time I've seen you, actually, since this game.
What are you going to say?
How brilliant was it?
Oh, sorry.
It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think I've read some Spurs fans already. I mean, aren't fans fickle? Or just downright stupid? I think the latter, really, some of them. Talking about we need to get rid of
No, they can't be saying. Not real ones.
No, not real ones. It was, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's mitigating factors here. You know, the 9 men against Tottenham, Chelsea, sorry. The away game at Wolves, you could look at them and say, well, that was not very professional. But then they had 4 full-backs playing at the back. And I thought Bentancur was looking great, by the way, just back from long-term injury. Passing the, and I think that was a very interesting dive into the psyche of the manager, was his midfield pairing.
Right.
It could easily have just went, and you'd have thought, you know, Conte and Mourinho and the rest would have gone, all right, Dyer in, Skip and Højbjerg, middle of the park. He went, no, Bentancur, Lo Celso, we're going to pass and we're going to create, and they blew Villa away with some of their passing, not their finishing, obviously 3 offsides, goals. And lost to a good Villa side, but it was super entertaining. Look,
you should have said to him, we told you so. Remember what we said at the start of the season?
What?
We said
there's going to be bumps.
Aye, Tottenham are going to be fantastic to watch. Remember we sat here after about 2 games and we said there's going to be great to watch,
right,
but they're going to lose some games.
Yeah.
And because of the injuries, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, look at this. Look at the centre backs he had there, Emerson and Davis. I mean, really, who saw that? But again, they basically run out, in my opinion, they ran out of steam.
But
well, they had a centre-back on the bench in Dyer, by the way, who played at Wolves, and he said, no. I'm not. But as I was saying to you, Mike, our producer, earlier today, you know, me, us, everybody, almost everybody sat here, whether you're at this desk or on social media or going to Tottenham to watch them, and moaned and groaned because it was the most awful football. Yeah. But by the way, not great results.
No.
So it's hard to criticise at the moment. Maybe in a year or two's time, if Levy says there's a couple of $100 million, they go and spend, then it ratchets the pressure up. But it's hard to criticise, particularly the way they started. It's hard to sit here and say, that's not, you know, they didn't defend well, they didn't do this, because it has been such a sea change of enjoyable football that you can't argue that this team has gone in the right direction. Now, where it goes and where's the end game, who the hell knows? But it's brilliant to watch. That's what they wanted. It's attacking football. That's what they wanted. And up until the last 3 or 4 weeks, it was getting them the results that they wanted. So at the moment, three defeats is 3 defeats. I get it. But it is a big yay for Tottenham, for sure.
Overall, Stevie, they obviously have taken the lead in those 3 games that they've eventually lost.
Right.
You talked about them running out of steam.
Yep.
That's something that he's going to have to address, isn't it?
Well, that's down to the squad then, isn't it? You know, I mean, the squad that he has.
But he's got the squad that he has. So he's got to...
Well, I've just told you that Davis and Emerson were at centre-backs. There's no way. If somebody said to him when he went through the door, by the way, you're going to end up with Davis and Emerson as your 2 centre-backs, he would have thought, oh my, we're going to be at the bottom of the league here. You know, the fact is that he needs a bit... He needs to change the squad, let's say that. They might have numbers,
right,
because you saw all the changes, but they're not good enough. And as much as they were great for half an hour, the game lasts 90 minutes. And it caught up with him because he had a lot of players playing who haven't had a lot of minutes on the field and who, as great as they were to start the game, there's a reason why they're not playing. So all of these things combined, as good as they're playing, is why they're losing the game. So it's down to changing the personnel and getting better players. That's what he needs. He needs more players, but better players. So that when he does get a couple of injuries, and this is obviously more than a couple of injuries he's got right now, that he can actually make changes without such a big difference in the outcome.
He's going to live or die doing it his way at Tottenham, right? Whether people
and he'll walk off into the sunset and not care, will he?
Listen, he never thought he was getting a job in Britain. If you watched his interview 2 or 3 months ago with the BBC, he said, I was on the outside. I was managing in Australia, then I was in Asia, I was managing the national team at youth levels under 21, then I was in Asia and Japan, very successful. He says, I couldn't even get a sniff until Eddie Howe turned down the Celtic job and he got in the door and they loved him. Football was great, they had success. He wasn't first choice at Tottenham. He wasn't second choice at Tottenham. He wasn't third choice at Tottenham, but he got in the door. So for him, this is just absolutely brilliant. And his quote to the Daily Mail last week, I think in an interview, he said, when I hear managers go in and say, I can't play this way and I can't play this way because I don't have the squad, he said, just get on with it, mate. Right. And that's kind of the way he's doing it. So I get it. At the end of the day, Daniel Levy and whoever amount of time, 12 months or 18 months, whatever it is, will judge him on where he is. But this is the way. He's going to go back to Australia at some point, doing it his way, having done it his way. And that's clear.
Kieran, what have you made of Spurs?
Yeah. Oh, as much as it pains me to say it, I've actually been really impressed with Spurs. Really impressed. I mean, to lose Harry Kane and to perform how they have so far this season is super impressive. You have to give him credit. Spurs are a team that are going to just cause, the other top teams, challenging for the title problems. That's what I meant, Craig, earlier about, the league. They make the league more exciting this year. A bit like a Newcastle. They're going to be a bogey team for the teams that are challenging for the title. But yeah, I'm impressed. They're playing good football. We don't associate Tottenham with that style of football at all. And he's been a breath of fresh air since coming in, and credit to him. But yeah, I mean, they definitely need to obviously sort out the defensive structure a little bit. But other than that, you have to give them total credit.
Villa, though, got the victory. It lifts them up to 4th in the table. Ollie Watkins scoring the winner, Mario. And you were talking earlier about how he must be a nightmare to defend against.
But the key thing in the game was what Emre did. Emre did a moment in the game where Cash, Kamara and McGinnis all three had a yellow card. And they're playing in the middle of the park against Spurs. And he took off Cash, and Cash was close to getting a red card in the first half. He took him off, and then he put in Tielemans, and then he also reacted. Look, Tielemans comes in, brings more peace into the team. He quiets it down, start playing, also got himself almost booked because he started, raving off. And Bailey he put in. They spread the game wider, and they opened it up and made Spurs think about what is going to come next. And I felt like Emre went right through them. So I think the thinking, and we already knew, Spurs is playing a great style of football. But the test is now. While the injuries and the suspensions are going on now in London, this is when they really get the big test. And Emre already had it because this is his second turn when he's here. And we're all aware of the situation at Arsenal. So now he's looking at teams and thinking like, I got to surprise them. And the way he surprised, the way he came up, I don't think Spurs was ready to answer to that, especially the second half.
You look at the Watkins goal, it was very similar in a way to Alexander-Arnold, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, yeah.
Just because of his first touch.
Yeah.
But if you look at Unai Emery, we've talked about him. We know he's a good coach. He's had success at a lot of places. But you've only got to look at the club that he left, Villarreal. They've already sacked 2 managers in that short period of time because nobody's been able to come in so far and get anywhere near to replicating what he was doing there. They're a good team to watch, but they're a bit more pragmatic than Tottenham. I mean, if you're a neutral and you're watching the Premier League and it's about entertainment, then that first half, in the way Tottenham
Spurs got next weekend, yeah? City.
City.
Yeah. What a game that's going to be.
Maybe slightly more pragmatism.